Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chansom. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 17th of May. India releases new anti-COVID drug as cases decline. Taliban open to Istanbul summit but wants end negotiations to take place in Doha. And Nepal urges Everest climbers to return used oxygen canisters amid COVID crisis. And now for all the details. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Health Minister Harsh Vardhan on Monday released a new anti-COVID drug after clinical trials showed it aided the recovery of hospitalized coronavirus patients and reduced dependence on supplemental oxygen. This came as the country's daily spike of coronavirus cases remained below the 300,000 mark for the first time since April 21 on Monday.
India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Health Minister Harsh Vardhan on Monday released the first batch of a new anti-COVID drug, 2-deoxy-D-glucose, after clinical trials showed it aided the recovery of hospitalized coronavirus patients and reduced dependence on supplemental oxygen. The drug was jointly developed by India's state-run Defence Research and Development Organisation and Hyderabad-based Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Limited. The Drugs Controller General of India had earlier approved the drug for emergency use. It comes in powder form in a sachet, which is taken orally by dissolving it in water. It accumulates in the virus-infected cells and prevents virus growth by stopping viral synthesis and energy production.
और यह ड्रग जिसका यह इजाद हुआ है, यह आशा और उम्मीद की एक नई किरण लेकर आया है। यानी हमारे देश के सामने एक बड़ा से बड़ा चैलेंज है, तो हमारे वैज्ञानिकों के अंदर वह क्षमता है, वह ताकत है, तो उसका मुकाबला वह कर सकते हैं। और जो यह ड्रग का इजाद किया गया है, मैं समझता हूं कि हमारे देश के वैज्ञानिकों की एक जो साइंटिफिक कैपेबिलिटी है, उसकी भी एक मिसाल है।
Meanwhile, India reported a further decline in new coronavirus cases on Monday as new infections over the past 24 hours were put at 281,386 by the Health Ministry, dropping below 300,000 for the first time since April 21. While lockdowns have helped limit cases in parts of the country hit during initial surge of infections in February and April, such as Maharashtra and Delhi, rural areas and some states are dealing with fresh surges. The government issued detailed guidelines on Sunday for monitoring COVID-19 cases, with the Health Ministry asking villages to look out for people with flu-like illness and get them tested for COVID-19.
Security forces on Monday neutralized two Al-Badr terrorists in an encounter near Srinagar city in India's Jammu and Kashmir. This came a week after three terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba outfit were gunned down in a similar encounter in Anantnag district of the territory.
Two terrorists belonging to Al-Badr terror outfit were neutralized by security forces in an encounter in the outskirts of Srinagar city in India's Jammu and Kashmir on Monday. The encounter broke out during coordinated search operations by a joint team of the Army, paramilitary CRPF and the police in Khanmo area based on specific inputs. The gunfight lasted for around 5 hours and bodies of both the terrorists had been recovered from the encounter site, an official said. Search operations were still underway in the area till the last reports came in. This came a week after security forces gunned down three terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit in a gunfight in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir. India has long accused Pakistan of aiding terrorists to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan, however, denies the charges.
Moving on, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi on Sunday emphasized the need for expanded bilateral ties and cooperation with the United States. Talking to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken over phone, Qureshi reaffirmed Pakistan's steadfast support for the Afghan peace process. Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi spoke with US Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Sunday and discussed various issues including the worsening situation in the Middle East. Qureshi apprised Secretary Blinken of Pakistani people's deep concern and anguish on the worsening humanitarian situation in the Israeli and Palestinian territories. The foreign minister reaffirmed Pakistan's steadfast support for the Afghan peace process while underscoring that achieving a peaceful political solution in Afghanistan was the shared responsibility of all Afghan parties as well as the key international and regional stakeholders. Violence, including attacks on civilians, has increased in Afghanistan, even as the United States has begun an operation to withdraw all its remaining troops over the next 4 months. An explosion inside a mosque on the outskirts of the Afghan capital Kabul killed at least 12 people during Friday prayers as worshippers gathered for the Eid al-Fitr holiday during a ceasefire. Islamic State claimed responsibility for the attack on Saturday through its Nasheed news agency on Telegram. More on news from Pakistan. Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Vice President Maryam Nawaz said on Sunday that if speaking for the supremacy of constitution and the law is an act of treason, then her party PMLN will continue to commit the crime. She made the remarks during a public gathering as she defended party leader Javed Latif, who is in judicial custody in a case relating to anti-state comments.
Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz or PMLN Vice President Maryam Nawaz said on Sunday that if speaking for the supremacy of the constitution and the law is an act of treason, then the PMLN will continue to commit the crime. Her remarks came as she addressed a public gathering in Sheikhupura after meeting family of party's incarcerated leader Javed Latif, who was arrested on April 27 in the case of allegedly insulting state institutions and creating disorder. The case was filed against Javed Latif last month for making controversial comments during a talk show where he said that if anything happens to Maryam Nawaz, PMLN will not say long live Pakistan. Latif had said he was pointing to threats Maryam Nawaz faces to her life.
अगर हक को हक कहना, सच को सच कहना, आईन की सरबुलंदी की बात करना, इदारों की सरबुलंदी की बात करना, कानून की पासदारी करना, अगर गद्दारी है तो हाँ ये गद्दारी हम बार-बार करेंगे.
Maryam Nawaz claimed that a treason case was registered against Javed Latif for standing with PMLN leader and former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. In the latest, a case was registered against Latif's son and 2 brothers for gathering the crowd and violating coronavirus SOPs in Sheikhupura.
In news from Afghanistan, the Taliban has agreed to begin substantive talks with the Republic team in Doha in the coming days, which would end the peace process stalemate, according to Afghan media outlet Tolo News. The negotiations in Doha were stalled after the announcement of a delay in US forces withdrawal in Afghanistan from the original May 1 deadline. Amid the final drawdown of US troops from Afghanistan, the Taliban insurgent group has agreed to begin substantive talks with the Republic team in Doha in coming days, which would end the peace process stalemate. According to Tolo News, the Taliban group plans to attend the Istanbul summit but wants the end negotiations to take place in Doha. The negotiating teams met in Doha on May 14 after a long pause. According to the Republic team, the efforts in Doha and Istanbul will help achieve results in the negotiations, but they stress that the Taliban's commitment is key. Meanwhile, a delegation representing the Taliban led by Shah Abdul Hakim Haqqani has been in Pakistan over the last 20 days, discussing with the leadership of the group the details of attending the Istanbul summit and the withdrawal of international troops from Afghanistan. President Ashraf Ghani has emphasized the need for a decision on peace by the regional players and for Europe's much-needed role to get Pakistan on board on the ongoing peace process with Taliban. The negotiations in Doha were stalled after the announcement of a delay in US forces withdrawal in Afghanistan from the original May 1 deadline. Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and CPN-UML leader Madhav Kumar Nepal on Sunday decided to form a 10-member task force to settle dispute among their respective factions in the ruling party. This came after Oli was reappointed as Prime Minister last Friday, despite losing a vote of confidence as opposition parties failed to garner majority to form a new ruling coalition.
Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and senior leader of ruling CPN-UML party Madhav Kumar Nepal on Sunday decided to form a 10-member task force to settle disputes among their respective factions in the party. The two leaders held one-on-one talks to decide the modality to converge and move ahead united. This came after Oli was reappointed as Nepal's Prime Minister on Friday, despite losing a vote of confidence, as opposition parties failed to stake claim and garner majority to form the government. The main opposition Nepali Congress Party, led by Sher Bahadur Deuba, had earlier planned to form a new ruling coalition with the support of CPN Maoist Centre, Janata Samajwadi Party and the Madhav Kumar Nepal-led faction of the UML. The plan failed to materialize as there was an agreement between Oli and Madhav Kumar Nepal within the UML. The Himalayan nation has been in political turmoil since last December, when Oli dissolved the parliament and called for an early election amid squabbling within the ruling Communist Party. The decision was, however, later termed null and void by the Supreme Court.
More news from Nepal. Running short of oxygen for patients of COVID-19, Nepal has requested mountain climbers of ongoing spring expedition to bring back their canisters so that it can be refilled to supply medical gas to the patients. With the COVID-19 infection surging in the country, patients are gasping for oxygen as there is a dearth of oxygen containers. Nepal has turned to its mountaineers for help in the ongoing COVID-19 crisis in the country, asking them for their empty oxygen cylinders for medical refilling. Nepal saw a sudden surge in the cases of coronavirus across the country, along with a surge in infection rate and a crunch of oxygen cylinders. Nepal has reported 447,704 coronavirus cases and 4,856 deaths. The Nepal Mountaineering Association has asked more than 400 climbers to bring back around 3,500 cylinders that have been taken for expedition of Nepal's 8,000 meters plus peaks this season.
Expedition ma jun sabai climbers haru base camp tira चाहिँ छ उहाँहरुसँग पनि निष्क्रिय चाहिँ सिलिन्डरहरु भएकोले हामीले प्रत्येक ओनरहरु र अपरेटरहरुलाई पनि हामीले कुरा गरिसकेको छ यो चाहिँ एक्सपिडिसन प्रसाद यो चीजलाई चाहिँ प्रयोगमा आयो भने तपाई हामीले सहयोग गरौं.
Our government and city and our public, they have a lot of coronavirus sickness, so they have a problem for oxygen. I heard that we have around 7 summit treks have around 1,000 bottles. So we can when the empty cylinder is come here, we can provide this cylinder to our government, and government will be make a refill for medical oxygen.
The Himalayan nation, which earns millions of dollars from climbers every year, closed the mountain in March 2020 due to the pandemic, but reopened for this year's climbing season that started in April. It issued a record 408 permits to climbers attempting to scale the 8,848.86 meter peak. The new wave of coronavirus infections, which has piled across the Indian border in Nepal, has seen a shortage of hospital beds and medical supplies across the country. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.